What's up, everybody? It's Jermaine Morgan here. You're watching Jermaine Morgan TV. Today, I got the pleasure of having my good longtime friend, Mr. Parrish here. We shared a little bit on bass, and we're gonna get some insight from being a working musician and talk about some good topics I think that's well needed. So stay tuned. So, dude, we got you in here.
Yeah, man.
You know, you fresh off the road.
Yeah, man.
With Alicia Keys, right?
Right.
Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. How was that experience? First off, before we get into any other thing.
It's very dope. It's 6 people. Well, the last one I did, 6 people. Just me, keyboard player Justin Gilbert, guitar Hanan, wet and round, background vocals, Miss Keys, and DJ Guru. It's not even the whole band setup.
Okay.
So it's different and it's like really cool though at the same time. So, and our main man Pro Tools.
Gotcha. Exactly.
But
the
it's
guy in
cool,
the box.
Yeah, the guy in the box. But it's cool, man. It's like, you know, it's a real chill situation. I told someone it's really like, this is the most grown up situation I've been in as far as the camp. But it was cool. You know, she's a sweetheart. You know, it was just a cool, relaxed.
Gotcha. Yeah, because this ain't your first job. Like, you've been on the road for a while. Working.
Yeah, 12 years, man. From Tony Braxton to Jonte Austin, Jay Holiday, to Neo, to Young Jeezy, just some people, man. Kelly Rowland. Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time, man.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, when I first got to Atlanta, I met you. Like, I think about 10 years ago. You were working in. Matter of fact, I think I met you in a studio session at Doppler.
Yeah.
It was you. I want to say KB and Justin.
Yep.
I met all of y'all when I was doing my internship there in Doppler.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's good to see. I actually called you in. I hit you up because you were having a Facebook Live discussion that I thought that was pretty interesting, and I thought it would be cool to share with the listeners, like, you know, some of the stuff, some of the points you were hitting on, and I think we were talking about, or you was talking about rather, the term church musician.
Yeah.
And for the sake of anybody getting offended or anything like that, he went through the whole spiel on Facebook Live, so I'm not going to go back into that. But what I wanted to talk about is your standpoint of working, being a touring musician over 12 years, your standpoint of professionalism versus just getting by.
Yeah, that pretty much, to me, in my opinion, for when it comes to that term, that was pretty much what I was referring to. Like you said, ain't trying to offend nobody. It's just, you know, because I don't really see nothing wrong with being a church musician.
Mm-hmm.
There's some church musicians out there that's making 50, 60, 70 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Living cool. But the thing with me about it is, like you said, the professionalism. When you're saying, okay, I'm going to be a musician. All right? What type of musician? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So are you going to be a professional musician, which means that you can do whatever comes your way, you know. So with church, you know, it's just that, you know, you get the music, and if you're close, if you're close to it and you got chops and you can kill, hey, you can keep your job. You're good, you know, you're hired. But in the other world, even local gigs, I've had conversation with people with local gigs. They like, yeah, he kills, but he doesn't know songs, so they won't ever call him to even do a little local club gigs, you know what I'm saying? So it's like any other world, you really have to know this stuff. So me being out, and I feel like that's what keeps me working, because I adjust to the situation. I sit down and I study this stuff, you know, how long is this bass note supposed to be held, how short it's supposed to be held, and, you know, I honestly feel that's where that term comes from, and I don't look at it as a bash. It's like, okay, some musicians say, hey, I am a church musician. Mm-hmm. I'm living all right, not having to wake up in the morning for a regular 9 to 5 and make this check. I'm straight, which, hey, bravo.
Exactly. But I think one thing you were hitting on, I'm not sure if everybody got it. I only caught part of the broadcast, but I think one of the things you was hitting on is not so much about being a church musician, but actually giving excellence every single time, regardless if you want to be a touring musician, the cat that travels around the city and playing, whatever you're doing, giving 100% and being excellent at it.
Yes. Because this is our job.
Exactly.
So if you know, as in any other occupation, you have, you know, you got to think about it too. You get a raise or you get promoted in any other occupation, it's because you've exceeded this level, this particular level. You've done it amazingly. Mm-hmm. So now I'm promoted. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So this, being a musician, is your job. You know, you can't get content with. Like I was saying earlier, you can't get content with, I don't have to get up early in the morning and you know, I still make this check. That's saying that you're content with where you are. So if you want to do more, you have to put in more work. You have to, you know, study the music. You have to, it's excellence, like you said. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you definitely have to be. And I think one of the key things in it is, if you're going to be a professional musician, knowing what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. Being very, very clear about it from the beginning. Yeah. And I think that's where some people end up messing up, because they don't know what they want to do. They just know they want to be a musician. And so, being that there's so much music out there, you don't know what to focus on learning. Like, if I'm going to be a church musician or I'm going to be a gospel musician, that means I need to go back and study, like, all of church, all of God, everything that entails gospel music, even Christian CCM music, everything that entails this genre, or several genres, including that one genre, because I need to be well-rounded enough to handle any song that they throw at me. In modern church, they're going to throw anything from Hawkins all the way to Chris Tomlin. Right. And you got to know that as well as being on the R&B tip, you have to be studying and knowing the latest song, top 40, you know, that kind of stuff.
Definitely. You definitely have to. It's just that the only reason why the term church happens, as far as the type of musician, is because even in everything you just said, you should. But everything you said, you totally should. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just that in church, it's allowed. Everything that's not allowed in everything else that you do, everything that's not allowed there, it's allowed at church, and you'll still be hired. So I think that's what it is. And I think, you know, when we say musicians want to become a musician, and I feel like majority of them, especially at a young age, have that dream of touring and doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's things you have to learn. I had to learn it. You know what I'm saying? It happened for me early, but I still had to learn. But I actually saw it though. I saw it just from local stuff when I first moved here, like at Apache Cafe when it was really amazing. Just going there and seeing these people play these records that I hear on the radio, and they're sounding like the record that's happening. And I've never experienced anything like that before, ever. I've never experienced anything like that before. And the fact that most of the people that were on that stage were the people that traveled, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, played for certain people, that spoke volumes.
Folks like your Treys.
Like Trey, at that time you had Trey, you had Daniel Moore, Justin Gilbert, Chris Coleman was there.
Oh, wow. I forgot Chris was here.
Yeah, Chris, Lil Jon. You had those people that were playing for people, and I look at them, and not to say that they were slouch, because, you know, they're incredible musicians. I look at them, and it wasn't necessarily about chops, even though they had things. They had things that make you say ooh, but it wasn't necessarily about that. And then I look at other people who was all about chops, but wasn't where they were. And that opened my eyes, like, I get it.
All right.
That makes sense. But yeah, I feel that's why I'm where I am. On top of, you know, being blessed, and I'm grateful for the opportunities that God has given me, traveling the world and meeting people and all this stuff, you know. So I'm totally grateful for that. But like, I feel like the work that I put in to actually work on my retention, you know, that's another thing.
Can you? I think that's another thing people need to know about. Some people got that thing where they can learn a 40-song show and retain all of it. I'm not that guy. I have to literally chart my stuff out. Like I got a folder, like all the songs we do, I got a folder. Yeah. Of course, the licks and stuff, I'll learn those. But as far as the meat and potatoes of the song, like I need that guide because I might forget something. After playing it 2 or 3 times, I got it. I don't need to try it anymore. Right. But the initial learning process of it, for me to get stuff fast, I have to chart it, and it goes into my brain that way.
I feel like that retention is like working out a muscle, and I've been cool, like I joke around with people like, man, my retention is awesome, but I've been like I've always, you know, I played sports, football, basketball. That's all I did. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, I played both sides of football, so you got to learn defense, you have to learn offense, different plays. You got to remember that stuff. Basketball, I was point guard, so I have to know everything that's happening on these plays and all this stuff. So I've always been good at, you know, I always had a pretty good retention. But when it came to music, it's been the same way. But I feel like where I am now has gotten is way better than what it was, and I feel like it's only like that because I kept sitting down and studying. So when it's to me, and in my experience, you know what I'm saying. So to me, because I kept sitting down and studying stuff, whenever I got a call from the major artists or whatever back in the day, I'm sitting down and I'm studying. And I'm doing it. I'm continuing to do that to now where I'm at a point where I can listen to a song now, or listen to songs or whatever, touch them, and be fine.
Wow.
Be fine. And I feel like it's because I worked on it. I kept that was my thing. Whenever I got a call, I sit down. They send me music. I sit down and I study. I go over it at least at minimum 4 times. One song at minimum 4 times to where, okay, I got it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I kept doing it. So now they like, I just did KCJ's album, like, what was that, last year? A year and a half ago, something like that, maybe 2 years ago. But everybody like clowned me because everyone, and it was so weird that I was getting clowned because everybody else had their notes, and I was the only one that didn't have the notes. And it was like, you have no notes. Why don't you have notes? But it was just like, I worked on it, you know, and I'm just, you know, and I'm so comfortable with that thing. So like, it's like I said, it's like a muscle. You have to work on that thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to work on. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna do this. And you know, once you get there, once you get to a certain stage, you don't have to sit as long.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree. For me, I got to the place where doing the same thing, learning song after song, but it will come to certain times that even though I did all this preparing, listening to the music, sat with it, I was good. I have a spot where I'm just brain just like go outside while I'm still playing.
Yeah.
And that job is gone. And so I had to figure out a system.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, you forget. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not, I don't mean like it's not notated or anything, nothing deep charted out. It's just numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bars, I'm counting rests.
Right.
And even with that, like having to MD some situations is like, that helps me because I'll notate what's going on when the drums come in.
Mm-hmm.
You should be on toms here. You shouldn't be on snare right here.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me to remember certain parts of the song. Okay, we're building right here. This is a break.
Mm-hmm.
You played through the break.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. So it's like I'm getting it, but once I get it internalized and played the song 2 or 3 times, like, okay, I really got it. I really don't need to chart. But I understand what you're saying, but I think it's really good for a person to know how they learn songs.
I feel that plays a major part in being professional. You know what I'm saying? Retention. Even if you're charting, because to me that says that you know you're serious about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now if you just don't have good retention and you ain't doing nothing, then that's just it's not really professional. You just, to me, again, the term a church musician, and again. It's not.
And we're back.
We're back. But it's not. I'm honestly not trying to bash or nothing.
No, I got you.
It's just really that's what it is. That's been church for centuries. You know what I'm saying? So you can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been church for centuries. So like and then depending on who you were around, how you came up. Like I didn't come up in a musician circle crowd.
Me either.
I didn't come up that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you saw a lot of the people that's out playing professionally and stuff like that. That's how they came up in that crowd. So and now that I know that crowd, I know it's been that kill factor. It's not necessarily, man, he played that song right to the T. Mm-hmm. It's not that in church. It's not that in church. It's, man, did y'all hear that nigga snap?
Yeah.
Did y'all hear? It's that.
Uh-huh.
It's that thing. It's not, man, that boy played that song just like the way they did it on. It's not that in church. It's not that in church. Whereas in the other world, because I do it. If I hear like guitar players put a chorus on something that on the record I was man, you are.
It's not right.
That so when I hear it right, that's what excites me.
Mm-hmm.
So that excites me. It's like, man, you are really playing them patterns on that thing and them drums. Like, or man, that solo is exactly how it is on that album. Like, that's what excites me.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say I'm not excited when it comes to stuff, because I'm a musician, so it definitely gets me. But
in a professional setting,
yeah, in a professional, yeah. If we're doing something to where it's like, okay, we doing actual records. If something like that is happening, and I'm hearing exactly what I heard on the album, that excites me. Like that is so exciting to me, because it's, especially this day and age, that's not where it is. It's YouTube.
Go for blood.
Yeah, that's where it is now. So and I appreciate it, because I don't get it all the time doing what I do. Mm-hmm. So when I can go on somebody's YouTube clip and see that and stuff, I get excited. But on the other end of things,
the end that pays.
Yes,
I get it. So I guess in closing, what advice would you give to up and coming musicians that are trying to do what you do? Like in summary.
Study, man. That's a big thing. Like, just outside of everything else, like character and being on time, like, people really shouldn't have to tell you that. But as far as the music, man, just study. I feel like if you study, for real study, not just listen to it on the way or no. Sit down with it, play with the music, study how it really goes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you study how it really goes, people will appreciate that. And then when you come out and do something creative, it makes you look way better. You don't even have to. It doesn't have to be a lot. That's how it happened with me. When I first moved here, got on the scene, got in with the important people, I played them songs. And then once I came out and did something creative, it was, man, you can play. And mind you, I didn't do anything that spectacular. It's just the fact that I played the song and I showed you that I could do something else with the song. So if you study, man, really, really study that stuff and get out of the mentality of, as long as it's close, or I can kill, I'm good, because I feel a lot of people think, I'm just as good. Yeah, and you could, because I say this all the time. You ask a lot of my friends, I say this all the time. I know bass players that play circles around me. I feel. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I feel that they play circles around me, but me, I do what I do. I'm here, I'm traveling, you know what I'm saying? And I feel it's because I sit down and study. It's not all about that for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm cool. I'm okay when it comes to that stuff. Like
we just heard you, Doc. Yeah,
I'm all right.
Don't be modest.
Nah, I feel like I'm a feel good bass player type guy. Like I need a groove. I need something consistent. In the manner of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's more me. But I do a little something. But yeah, just study, man. If you study though,
I think that's the biggest thing with all of us that work. It's like YouTube, social media. I will do that stuff, but when it comes to the actual gig, it's like, yeah, I'm playing the song, and like you said, if I am gonna step out, I'm gonna make sure whatever it is I'm playing, like it don't take away from what's going on.
Exactly.
And I'm aware of everything else that's going on, and I'm not stepping on everybody else's toes to try to say something and talking over them and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Study, man. Study. That's the key. That means you're really doing your job. To me.
The day you go, study, and in due time, when it's your time, it'll happen.
And be present. Study and be present, man. Don't be out of sight and trying to figure out why no one's calling you and we don't see you. So if you study and you present, and then when you're present and you show me you can play the record before you give me your chops.
Very well said. Very well said. And we can end on that note. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, this is Parrish. I will put all of his information below so you can find him and check out the numerous records he's worked on, as well as artists and that kind of thing. But I appreciate y'all tuning in, and check back next week, and we'll be back with a new episode. Holla.